Hello, hi, and a very good evening. So today we are from group 10. We'll present the topic of our project study. So this is a production system in automotive industry. So this is our contents. I will present my chapter one. Chapter two will present by Nazri. Chapter three will present by Heidi, and chapter four will be presented by Nizi. Yeah. For introduction, the Malaysian National Car Project has been planned since the early 1980s. This project was to develop the automobile industry centering on domestic cars. However, the automobile industry has undergone major changes in the situation in the automobile industry from the 1980s to the present. In 1983, the first National Automobile Project Proton was launched, and a joint venture of Heavy Industry Corporation of Malaysia, HICOM, Mitsubishi Motor Corporation (MMC) and Mitsubishi Corporation of Japan (MC) was established. Nevertheless, exports of Malaysian-made parts and components have grown significantly over the past decade, contributing over 11 billion ringgit to Malaysia GDP in 2016. So the problem statement is it is becoming a difficult task for automakers to reach a level quality of that is attractive as well as meeting the required quality. One way to manufacture low volume vehicle is to use the concept of shared platform. By applying this concept, not only can design time be significantly reduced, but also the quality of the product. The technology it uses, its component, modules, and system can be integrated. As a result, companies can apply the total production of automobiles to their target market or niche at significantly reduced cost. A company that has the ability to produce this kind of product has a huge advantage over its competitors. The objective is the first one, analyze the production system of automobile industry according to the existing automobile production line. The next one is analyze the importance of each step for the vehicle's production system. The next one is to identify the processes involved in the vehicle's production system. And the last one is to investigate lean production methods applied to the automobile industry.
Next, we move to the literature review. So for the first article, lean manufacturing. So the finding is the main goal is to minimize the cost uh, in a scientific way through the product and fabrication development process by conducting a series of business evaluations. Next, to eliminate costly supplies, needs are evaluated at the organizational engineering level with advertising, marketing, and customer representative. So for the second article, Honda of America Manufacturing, finding is lean production was designed to operate on a just-in-time basis with little inventory, short manufacturing lots, and minimum buffers, allowing for immediate feedback of any problems that came during production. So the third article is Introduction to JIT. Just in time, JIT is a manufacturing waste reduction strategy that involves acquiring the correct number of raw materials and creating the appropriate quantity of goods at the right time in the right place. Next, JIT manufacturing attempts to produce goods in response to customer demand. For the last article is Study of Lean Manufacturing for Manufacturing Auto Components. 5S is a system that is used to decrease waste and maximize production in order to keep the order consecutive. And lastly, the most successful use of this tool is when they are used together, but many of them may be utilized on their own to tackle specific business problems.
Okay, next is the discussion. So for this, our team have decided to do on the study on the Mercedes production system. So this is the step-by-step process involved related to Mercedes production system. Okay, for the design, okay, new models are generated to satisfy customers' preferences and specification. So designers will create a preliminary design based on the concept drawing with the use and with the help of the computer-aided design tools to visualize the proposed vehicle design. As shown in the picture, it is a clay model which is used by Mercedes itself. They will develop the design, the prototype design by using the clay model. And as in Mercedes also, they develop clay model for many parts of prototypes such as the body, exterior, and also interior. And next for the press shop. Once the design have been finalized, they will construct the pressing tools required for the bodywork for the typical designs. Okay, and then they move to the body shop. So in the body shop, majority of the hard lifting in the body shop are performed by the robots. So steel sheets are transported between molds by robot arms. All instruments in the pressing cycle work sequentially on the same body portion, checking the body weight in numerous steps. So in this part, all the components such as the backing, the wiring, and also the body such as the hood, the pillar will be assembled. So next is the engine shop. So engine block is typically manufactured by sand casting. This is because the engine must be capable of withstanding the high pressure produced during combustion. The most often utilized method is green sand molding casting. This implies that it must be able to resist extreme temperatures and continuous vibrations. The engine block, which is a single piece of metal, is the biggest component in the vehicle. This is the point that which combustion energy is converted to mechanical energy. And then move to the paint shop. So for cleaning and degreasing, the body shell is immersed in the tank. Everything is still grey at this stage, but this is when the color enters the picture. The order in which water soluble paint is applied to the cars as the skin is filler, base coat, and clear coat. Each vehicle will be painted individually. If necessary, various colors are applied based on the uh, orders of the customer. And then to guarantee that the spray is sprayed efficiently, robot arms with protective sleeves apply a tiny spray. The last phases of the painting processes are then handled by highly experienced paint professionals, while an ecologically friendly dry separation system filters the air in the paint shop. And then next move to the assembly shop. So in this assembly shop, this consists of interior assembly and make process. So at the body shop, all of the pillars, hood, and backing wiring have been assembled. So in this, there will more to the interior assembly because we assembled all the instrument, dash panels, interior lights, seats, door, and screen panels, headliners, radios, and speakers, and also all other components. And they also in this step they will do the make process, the chassis assembly conveyor, and the body shell conveyor collide. The shell is robotically removed from its conveyor fixtures and put onto the vehicle frame when the chassis goes through the body conveyor. And last step is the quality control. Okay, once the cast component uh, they finish assembled, they will do the inspection on the quality control. So production control specialists may track the progress of each embryonic automobile using the Vehicle Identification Number (VIN) issued at the production line commencement. Next,
Okay, bonus question. First, what are the technological development and implementation likely to occur in Malaysia automotive manufacturing in 5 years? Malaysian Automotive Association (MAA) affirmed that the National Automotive Policy will seek to provide greater depth into making the next generation vehicle (NXGV) under IR 4.0. They are looking at the NXGV, the future, and how that type of vehicle should be manufactured and assembled in Malaysia. Number two, what are the major obstacles that holding up the development of automotive manufacturing industry in Malaysia? Firstly, regional arrangement. The ecosystem of for the supply chain of vehicle components has been established in another country, and with those give a larger economy of scale for a vehicle producing brand to export. This has impacted the plan for localization of local components, which will only be at the level of assembly and not at the level of product R&D tooling. Number three, what are the differences in the job scope or description as an engineer in production line as compared to the engineer working in other departments? Production engineer work to improve on a company fabrication and assembly processes. This means that production engineers typically spend their time in an office analyzing data, The main goal of production engineers is to make the manufacturing and production processes as efficient as possible and eliminate waste where necessary. Meanwhile, engineers in process departments use chemistry and physics to develop and produce the industrial processes for making fuel, medicine, and other consumer goods. Number 4. What will happen after the car is mass produced? Mass production has many advantages. If production is stringently monitored, mass production can result in a high level of precision because production line machines have preset parameters. Mass production also result in lower costs because the automated assembly line production process requires fewer workers. With specific measure to promote technology development in NXGV, MAAS, and IR 4.0 in the domestic automotive sector, Malaysia will be able to market its automotive products at the global level. Number 5. How does a company set the car's prices? First, vehicle manufacturing cost. It consists of almost 50 to 60% of vehicle selling price. For an automobile manufacturer, it is not possible to procure all the parts in its in-house facility, so major cost of vehicle consists BOP, bought out parts from suppliers. Number 2, logistic cost. It consists almost 3 to 5% of selling price of vehicle depending upon manufacturing location and vehicle delivery location. Number 3, sales and marketing costs. For any product to be sold in market, marketing is the essential part of product launch. A major part of vehicle cost is spent over marketing of that product. Its attributes, product or brand endorsement, newspaper or media endorsement, large events, product or brand ambassador hiring, recreational events held by brand for product endorsement, and many more other activities. Number 4, profitability of company. Every business moves ahead only by accounting adequate profitability. So the automobile manufacturers, there is no use of working or doing business if you are not earning profit from your product or not having any profitability scope. Number 5, dealer's margin. Last but not least comes to the dealer's margin. It can be accounted from 10 to 15% of vehicle cost. It can be varied and altered by automobile manufacturers depending upon various sales schemes launched by manufacturer. Next. Summary. This study goal is to look into how lean manufacturing techniques and technologies are implemented and evaluated in the automotive industry. In the project, lean manufacturing for auto component production, wastage are reduced and inventory levels are maintained, which is mother of waste. Wastage is automatically reduced after the inventory level is reduced. There is also a concrete benefit in lowering costs, saving space, and improving processes. As a result, Lean is a continuous improvement process that, if implemented properly, may yield great outcomes. Recommendation. First, foster a quality culture. Abnormalities in parts and inefficiencies in manufacturing process can be found on every factory floor, but operators may be hesitant to point them out for fear of lowering their own work quality. Okay, second, supplier relationships. Relationships between OEM manufacturers and their suppliers have shifted dramatically from one manufacturer managing several suppliers to a single supplier supporting multiple manufacturers. Despite the fact that this is more effective business model for manufacturers, it creates a situation in which problems with a single supplier affect several manufacturers and part lines. Number 3, use technology to connect the supply chain. With a global supply chain, knowing what is going on at each plant or supplier becomes increasingly difficult. Using cutting-edge technology like the cloud or mobile device, the supply chain can be connected, allowing operators and inspectors at a manufacturer's site or a relevant supplier to submit data from anywhere using any mobile device. Number 4, demand more than an inspection report. In the past, manufacturers had to rely on a paper report and the suppliers assurance that the items they got match the OEM's high quality standard. It is no longer enough to have faith in the process. Manufacturers need visibility into supplier operations to know what is going on in the production process, make sure necessary testing is being done, and confirm the results fit the OEM's high quality standard. Lastly, use manufacturing intelligence. In process data provides a second level of information on manufacturing intelligence that can be leveraged to improve efficiency and quality across the organization and supply chain. It's feasible to compare site to site or supplier to supplier using modern data analysis technologies, revealing opportunities for improvement. If one facility is much more efficient than another in a similar process, the information could be shared with the second site to allow for process improvement. Okay, that's all from us. Thank you for your attention.